Good morning, everybody, and welcome to What's Hot Now on the Open here at MarketStream.Live. My name is Joe Cusick from the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock. Quite an interesting morning right now. We have S&P futures down about 325. We currently have the NASDAQ futures, as I look at them, down about 75 cents. So we have the major futures indices wrapped around slightly in the red to break even. Not a lot of action here in the United States, but we do see globally, as we reported in the overnight action report, that the global markets are now shifting to the downside. Now, we see that the index futures have recently narrowed their losses, right? Political uncertainty still thick in this climate right now. And there's a negative bias basically in the global market. So bottom line is, when you see that equities in Asia, Europe, South America are all basically shifting to a risk off or uncertain mode, you're going to see safe haven assets start to gain some interest, especially with the FOMC planning to come out with their meeting notes and decisions about what they're going to do with rates, both this meeting and going into the December meeting. Again, we're going to see safe haven assets like bonds, which you're seeing the yields pull off, and you're seeing prices go up across the board. If you take a look in Japan and watch the currencies, the dollar-yen pair is down about 0.8% at around 103.27, which, for those of you that were watching the overnight action, you heard that I said the Japanese Nikkei finished down about 1.8%. That was the weakest Asian market, and really you see the currency action right there pressuring that market. Now, there is some caution being held into today's FOMC meeting, and let's put this in context. Right now, there's less than a 7% probability that they were going to move rates anyways. That's by the CME FedWatch tool. Take a look at that. Now, there's about I see it around a 68% probability that they're going to raise rates in December. Again, this statement is going to give us better transparency into whether or not the hawks are still in control, or if there is actually some concern that maybe growth both here domestically in the United States as well as globally is not on pace to warrant raising rates. We'll have to see. The downturn in crude oil continues to pressure, though, the general markets. I'm taking a look right now at the crude oil markets trading. Right now, West Texas is trading right around that $46 level. So it broke through that support, as I had mentioned a couple days ago, Friday and as well as Monday. That 47.15 mark on the crude oil contract in December was a critical level. It broke it. The API data came out. The American Petroleum Institute came out this morning. They said that stockpiles rose by about 9.3 barrels. Last week, we had reported that they reported that the stockpiles were up about 4.8 million barrels, and gasoline inventories fell by about 3.6 million barrels as well. Last week's was a gain or stockpile of 1.7 million barrels. I don't really focus on the API only because I think there's just so much swag in there. I do watch the EIA report, the Department of Energy. That's coming out. That's the very influential report that we're going to watch at 10:30 Eastern time today. We're going to watch this very closely, with crude now down about 1.6%, as I had noted, now dropping below that $46 level. As I look at crude right now, it's at $45.93, down about 74 cents. We're going to watch that EIA report out in about an hour after the opening bell. I may jump on and report about that. We'll watch to see if actually last week we saw that there was an actual draw where they saw a stockpile in the API. The EIA showed a draw of around 550,000 barrels. So we want to see if there's a build or a draw right now. That's going to really start to see if if oil can catalyze the markets, either to the upside or downside. Treasuries, as I noted, there is a global shift in risk at this juncture, so they're looking for safe havens, certain currencies, as well as the fixed income markets. Treasuries are now pulling back on the yield side. The 2-year note has slipped about 2 basis points to about 0.82%. and you're seeing that the 10-year note is down about 3 basis points at around 1.8%. So yields going down, bond prices going up. We were seeing that happen yesterday. The shorts were getting squeezed. I don't think that's going to be long-lived, but we want to keep an eye on that, especially with the meeting out this afternoon. And as we start seeing the headlines and getting closer to the actual elections event, that's going to pick up that trade. On the economic front, we looked at the weekly MBA mortgage index. It showed, I believe it was a seasonally adjusted decrease of around 1.2% in mortgage applications. And the ADP employment change report came in for October. It actually was lower than what expectations are. I didn't see the number before we came on today, so I'll have to get that for you at the noon hour. Taking a look at some of the corporate news that's hitting here and what's hot now is Brocade. Brocade came out and confirmed that they are going to be acquired by Broadcom. So Brocade, ticker symbol BRCD, currently trading at around $12.24. That's basically up a buck, almost 7.5%, almost 8% on the open. Going to be purchased by Broadcom or acquired. AVGO is Broadcom's symbol. They're trading at 168. Looks like the deal is going to go out for $12.75. It's an all-cash deal, about $5.5 billion, folks. That's about a 6% premium right now, 6 to 8% premium into the close, which was right around, actually it's bigger than that, 12%, excuse me. Also, we had talked about last night some earnings movers. Alibaba. Baba came out. Stock's trading at 103.28, up about 213 or around 2%. Looks like top line and bottom line earnings beat. You're also seeing Yahoo pop a little bit on the open in sympathy with the Baba earnings. Baba closed at 101.15. The options were pricing in the potential to move about $5.20. We're going to watch this closely, but you can see that the volatility might have been a little overstated in Baba as far as the binary move in the stock, but stock's up about I'll have to take a look at it, $3. Yeah, it's $2 right now, and so we're going to keep an eye on that today. Electronic Arts went out. It's trading around 79.67, up about $2, up about 2.5%. The company reported in line quarterly results, as well as increasing its fiscal 17 guidance. We're also seeing that Activision, ATVI, is up about 2.1% in sympathy with the earnings and guidance of Electronic Arts. So we're going to watch that sector and see if that impacts some other stocks. Allergan, we talked about this last night. They recently announced, solid guidance. They reaffirmed their fiscal year 16 guidance. They did have a bottom line quarterly miss, they announced that they had, I'm just looking at this right now, I'm watching the ticker and seeing it. They actually announced a dividend of 70 cents. And I think what you're seeing right now in the stock's trading right now at 209.50, down 8.50. That's about almost 0.5% move to the downside. When they announced the dividend of 70 cents, I think they were basically masking the quarter results, and the stock's trading down about $8.50. As a matter of fact, the stock finished the day yesterday at 208 when we talked about it in the closing bell. The options were pricing in the potential for the stock to move about plus or minus $9. It's down $8.50. They're efficient vehicles, these options. They priced in the potential for that move, and it looks like the stock is moving to the downside. It looks like investors, while see the dividend, that could be a positive for stockholders. It's in a stock like Allergan, looks like the shareholders are not really looking at that as an opportunity. Stock's down. Gilead Sciences, that was the one that I was just watching come across the tape. Gilead's trading at 74.19, up about 12 cents. They reaffirmed their fiscal year 2016 guidance and reporting bottom line quarterly miss. Now, the stock's holding up in there. I want to watch this one, and I'm going to watch the biotechs really closely going into the rest of the day and into the noon hour. Speaking of that, we are going to be meeting at 1:30 Eastern time. So it's right before the Fed's going to meet. I might jump on after the Fed does meet so that we can get some guidance there, get some perspective. But until then, join us at 1:30 Eastern Time. We'll be talking about strategy now, what's going on in the markets in the midday. And you can also take a look at the archive pieces that we put together. Like I said, last night we talked about a lot of these earnings stocks that are coming out. Till then, let's keep our powder dry. Let's stay focused, keep those emotions under control, and stay tuned to MarketStream.Live. Thanks a lot, everybody, and have a great rest of the trading day.